At my age, you know I've been to a lot of doctors. Healthcare partners, they really care. They're concerned about your health. They're all the best. I am Roberta, and I am a healthcare partner. Visit hcpnv.com to hear my story.
News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 751-0349. News 46 is also brought to you by Integrity Home Health Care, caring for the Pahrump community for over 3 years. Call 775-751-5100 for your home health care needs. We are here to care for you.
Tonight on News 46, another local falls victim to a credit card scam. That comedy show will be held on Friday night, and a recognition day is scheduled for women veterans. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell and Jason Koblenz. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, October 29th, 2013. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. The Social Security Administration canceled today's visit to the Bob Roode Community Center on short notice. This is reportedly due to the previous government shutdown. The Social Security will be here on November 26th. They start at 9 a.m. The Salvation Army volunteers get there at 7 to set things up and have folks sign in. Local barber Johnston has a warning for those who have their credit cards on file so that they can shop online. She was ripped off, her entire bank account emptied. Here's her story.
Well, it was my husband and myself. My husband went to use our debit card and couldn't, and he knew there was more than enough money in the account to cover a charge under $20. Later that day, he used the card a second time because he was in Las Vegas. Same thing, about a $20 charge would not go through. When he came home and called the bank, he found out it was totally empty. The account was gone. And after about an hour conversation with the bank, who was wonderful, by the way, it was Nevada State Bank, their fraud department did everything they could, and there were 22 overseas charges in a matter of a couple hours. And long story short, it happens every day to thousands and thousands of people. The only thing we learned, our bank suggested never ever have a credit card or a debit card on file with any company online.
To shop, right?
To shop. I even had it on file for mail order prescriptions. Not anymore. Our credit cards are, or debit card is no place.
So that's what the bank recommended, because how can they get the card number?
There's pros out there. How they do it, I don't know. But there's wizards on the computer, and there's teams of people who, in my mind, are just rotten, evil people that their goal in life is to rip other people off. They
Do you think that they got your number through your computer or through a company?
Oh, no, it was not our computer. Our computer is fine. There's people out there that just put in numbers. You know, you've shopped online. I'm sure everyone has shopped online. You put in your credit card number. It's just a matter of mathematics. They're going to come up with the right numbers sometime. We got our numbers. They made a small charge that went through, and then in a couple hours, you're done. Everything is gone.
Everything was done overseas. Where overseas?
Well, 2 purchases were in the United States. I mean, all over Europe. It was physically impossible for one person in one debit card to travel to 22 different locations overseas in a couple hours.
What's the bank going to do now?
They're working on it to get the funds back. Other than that, we just don't know. I don't know what they do in their department. I know they're doing the best they can. They just suggested, get your cards off of everything. It's not only the holiday season, it's the theft season.
And definitely be careful out there. We got another report that Microsoft scam just got somebody yesterday for $4,000. That's when your computer says that it has a virus, and if you just give your credit card information, they'll remotely take over your computer and get rid of the problem. Unfortunately, they do get into your credit card information. Do not give any information of your credit cards or bank account information over the phone or over the computer, especially if it's not initiated by you. You hang up or get the email address or website address or phone number yourself and call them back. The Stage Top Casino has agreed to pay a $5,500 fine to the State Gaming Commission for failing to register its bartenders as gaming employees. The State Gaming Control Board filed the 2-count complaint against Stage Top Casino. The complaint started in June, and it showed that 7 of 9 bartenders were not properly registered as gaming employees. When we come back from this break, we're going to recognize some women veterans. Stay tuned.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Albertsons. You're in for something fresh.
And welcome back to News 46. November 9th is the first annual Women's Veterans Recognition Day. In honor of that day, which is quickly approaching, KPVM News 46 would like to introduce you to those brave women who proudly served our country here locally. Today's female veteran is Carole Fucillo. She's introduced by Town Manager Susan Holecheck.
Hello, I'm Susan Holecheck, Pahrump Town Manager. As we continue to encourage everyone to participate in honoring our women veterans, we take different women who have given time to our country, time and service, I might add. So what a pleasure for me to be able to introduce Carole Fucillo. She was in the Air Force and is a Vietnam veteran.
Hi, my name is Carole Fucillo, and I was an airman in the United States Air Force in 1966. And the reason why I went in there is because all my fellow friends were going into Vietnam, and they needed room to have them leave so that we women could take over their jobs. And I served for 3 years, and during that time, I also served a good part where I was able to fly on C-121s and serve as a little bit of a hostess for the officers that had to get flying time in. And it was a tough duty going to Bermuda, every other weekend. But, I managed to get through it, through all the suffering that we did in the military. But anyway, since then, I went in to become the very first policewoman in Massachusetts, in Revere, Massachusetts. And I had a real tough time with that because I scored one of the highest exams in the state. And what happened was the guys that were taking these exams weren't even military, and they were getting very low scores. So I had to kind of fight for my rights and went to the State House, and they kind of shoved me under the table. But when they found that I was a veteran, they kind of looked a little bit harder. And I thank the Lord for that, because I ended up getting the job and being the very first female representative on the department. So anyway, and then I went further on in life after being married and having children. I've been serving this country for many years, and now I've been a pastor for the past 15 years and serving here in Pahrump, Nevada, and I'm also the hospital chaplain. And I have to say, you women vets, you go girls, because, if it wasn't for us, a lot of these men wouldn't have been able to go out there and fight for this country.
A lot of inspirational women. All of us here at KPVM TV News 46 honor all of our veterans, men and women, and invite you to the special Women's Veterans Recognition Day on November 9th at 10 a.m. at the Veterans Memorial inside the Chief Tacoma Cemetery on East Street, right next door to the library. News 46 will be honoring a female veteran every day in our newscast until November 9th. The Navy's newest warship slipped out of the dry dock this week into the waters of Maine, marking a new era for warfighting at sea. The USS Zumwalt, the first of the DDG-1000 class of destroyers, is longer, faster, and carries state-of-the-art weapons that will allow it to destroy targets at more than 60 miles. At 610 feet long and 81 feet wide, the Zumwalt is longer and thinner than the USS Arizona, a battleship sunk at Pearl Harbor, but it weighs about half as much. Much of the ship's superstructure is wrapped in a huge canopy made of lightweight carbon fiber composite. Nevada national security site contractor National Security Technologies donated $10,000 and is supplying volunteers to provide shoes and socks to disadvantaged children this Friday as part of its continued partnership with Kit Carson Elementary School and the Goody Two Shoes organization. National Security Technologies spends more than $2 million annually on education and community outreach and has hosted the shoe distribution for the past 2 years. This Friday night is the second annual That Comedy Show featuring Brandon Guchon from Comp 92.3, The Rock Station.
Yes, it's the second annual That Comedy Show, and this year we're going to do it at the Pahrump Nugget on November 1st, and the doors will open at 6 o'clock.
Who's going to be the headlining comedians?
The headlining comedian, well, we're going to open up with AJ Alvarez, who's amazing on guitar. He played at our fall festival. We had people walking back from where the vendors were just to hear him sing. He's going to be opening up. Then we're going to have an amazing comedian named Matt Markman, and then for the finale and the headliner, it's going to be Brandon Guchon from Comp 92.3, The Rock Station.
And the tickets are pretty reasonable, right?
The tickets are $10, just like they were last year. They also include a $5 free play from the Nugget and a raffle ticket. And if you remember last year, we had great prizes, and again, we're going to have great prizes. And you can also buy additional raffle tickets for $1 each or 6 for $5.
What's this to benefit?
This is to benefit the Path of Hope Food Bank, who feeds approximately 1,500 to 2,500 people per month. And they rely strictly on donations so that they can purchase 3 square food, and that's how they feed the people. With the exception of every 2 months, they also host and sponsor the commodities program once every 2 months. So this will benefit the Path of Hope Food Bank, which is every Wednesday from 10 to 12. The date is November 1st at 6 o'clock at the Pahrump Nugget, and you'll see AJ Alvarez, Matt Markman, and Brandon Guchon from 92.3 The Rock Station.
Can you get your tickets in advance?
Yes, you can. You can get your tickets by calling 702-526-5063 and get a hold of me. And you can buy tickets with me or Rodney at 513-6569, or you can go to Acme Feed. They're available all day during their business hours at Acme Feed.
Can you buy them at the door too as well?
You can buy them at the door. They will be $15 if you buy them at the door. So you're better off buying them in advance, even the day before. As long as you get them in advance, they're $10. And don't forget to buy extra raffle tickets because we have some great, great, great prizes this year.
If people can't make the event, is there a way that they can donate?
Absolutely. They can just go to Acme Feed and they can say they're going to put a donation for the Path of Hope Food Bank, or they can buy raffle tickets, they can donate, and they don't need to be there. They just need to give us their name and address. So if they're picked, we'll write the name and address on the raffle ticket.
That's going to be a lot of fun on Friday night. And when we come back from this break, we're going to show you another location to deposit your unused and unwanted prescription and non-prescription medications.